Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee, and today we are going to be talking about 2024 goals. Hello everyone and welcome to the annual goals video. This is where I talk about some of the bookish and channel goals. I have channel goals for the first time, things that I want to do next year. Sometimes I also throw in some other things, so stay tuned for that. But we are going to start, of course, with the bookish goals. And at the top of the list, as always, it is the first goal, which is to read 100 books in a year. Now, in 2022, I read 150 books in a year, and then this past year, when I'm filming this, it's still 2023, and I am barely going to make it to 100 books if we even make it. So I have about 8 days left to do that, so hopefully we will make it, but I'm gonna scoot by the skin of my teeth. So I'm just setting it at 100 books again in 2024. That's typically where I sit. So if I make it, great. If not, nothing is going to happen. I have not made it before and it's fine, but 100 books is kind of where I typically put my number. I also have started breaking this down into pages read and audiobook hours listened to. Last year, and you'll see this in my goals wrap up, I made some big guesses as to where this was going to land because I hadn't ever tracked my reading as audiobooks and like audiobook hours before. So knowing that, I am going to try to go for 9,000 physical pages, physical or ebook pages, and 600 audiobook hours. That's a little bit more than where I'm going to end up in this current year, but I still think reachable, and actually I would like to kind of read a little bit more in the coming year. So that's what we're shooting for. Then we move into talking about my physical TBR. Now, I am pretty close to my 2023 goal as of today, but I don't want to cut it off. Like I said, I don't know exactly where it's going to land. I have a bunch of things that I am still trying to finish up and get through so that I have the lowest number possible. But next year, I would like it to be less than 80 books at the end of the year. That is right now, looking at that's very reachable, but I also want to purchase less than 50 books next year. I have found that as I purchase more books, and everybody can do whatever they want, but this is just me personally. If I purchase a lot of books and I don't get to them, my excitement wanes a lot, and then I tend not to reach for them as often, and I actually let them sit longer. So what I've been trying to do over the past couple of years is to reduce my physical TBR, especially the books that I have had on there for the longest amount of time, so that I can read the books that I purchased most recently and am most excited for. If you remember when I said that I read 150 books in 2022, I purchased a lot of books that year, but I also read a significant number of what I purchased. Like a third of the books that I read in 2022 were books that I had purchased that year. So that was really great, and it really, I think, increased how much I read. So I want to try to keep making that part of my reading. So in order to do that, like I said, I want to keep reducing the number of books that I have physically on my TBR, and also I want to purchase less so that I kind of cut out those books that I end up leaving behind, cut out the ones that I, eventually unhaul because I have just sort of spontaneously bought them. I want to be a little more intentional about my book buying. So that's a goal for next year. Then, to go along with what I was talking about with trying to get my TBR more up to date and more books that I have purchased recently being the ones I'm reading, I would like to read, unhaul, DNF, whatever, eliminate the books on my physical TBR that I have purchased in 2018, or the books and also the books that I don't know when I purchased them. So those are two shelves that I have on my TBR right now. And by the time I get back around to next year, I want to have eliminated those so that I don't have to do a TBR and review for those. So that's the goal, that's the hope. These are both fairly large TBR shelves that I have, they're both over 10 books. So that's going to be a challenge, but it is also something that I really want to prioritize next year because the books that I have kept from those time periods are ones that I am still excited for and I'm holding on to my excitement for. So let's hope that I get to them in 2024. I would also like to get back to reading one nonfiction book a quarter. I really enjoy nonfiction. You might have heard me talk about this before, that I got a history degree in college and I mostly read historical nonfiction of some variety, but I'd also like to read some about current events and current topics. Overall, I'd like to get back into reading and or listening to at least one nonfiction book a quarter. That really used to be something that I did consistently and I felt like I was pretty good at keeping up with, but since like 2021, 2022, I really haven't done that. So that's a goal for 2024. At least 4 next year. Hopefully more, but at least 1 a quarter. In 2024, I would like to go to at least 8 of my local indies romance book clubs, and I'd like to try to go to 1 a quarter to their regular book clubs as well. For 2021, I think I was going to almost all of them. In 2022, or maybe it was 2022 that I was going to a lot of them, and I dropped off in 2023. Either way, I would really like to start going again, and I have really enjoyed the romance book club this past year because it's a smaller group, but I also would like to try to go to the like main book club for books that I'm interested in. I don't want to get too overwhelmed and join too many books clubs because that's what happened at the end of 2022. But I would like to try to go at least to a few of the regular book clubs, and I really enjoy the romance ones. So trying to make that like a goal that I keep on myself to do. I'd like to complete 10 series next year. I'm not sure how many I completed in 2023, but I am getting the hang of doing this. I actually, if I read it all at once, it goes a lot better than if I keep putting it off. So next year I'd like to complete 10 of the series that are on my shelf. I'd also like to finish out filling out and updating my personal library spreadsheet. So I have been using Allie from the Hardback Hoarder. I've been using her spreadsheet for the past few years, and I would like to get to the point where my library is in the spreadsheet and I just have to make additions or subtractions from it. So I would like to work on that over the coming year and really get my like information in there. I also have a couple of apps that you can do that with, so I kind of want to make sure that I'm working on that throughout 2024 so that I have a better idea of how many books I own, what's here, what's gone, you know, all of that good stuff. My last bookish goal is to keep better track of my bookish spending and selling. So I like to do this every year. I like to keep an eye on it. I like to keep track of that. And this year I did a fairly good job, but I think I need to transfer it. Right now I put everything in OneNote, which is a Microsoft Office app that I have been using since I've been in high school to keep track of my reading, my books, and all of this stuff. I do all my video planning in there, and it works okay for video planning and notes and everything, but I think I need an Excel sheet for this buying and spending. I think Allie has a part of her spreadsheet that you can do that in, so next year I want to not do it in OneNote and instead consistently move it over to the spreadsheet so that I'm keeping better track of it. So that is the hope, but I probably will also type it in OneNote just because that's my habit, but I also want to move it to the spreadsheet. That's the goal. Then I have a few channel goals, and these aren't really like subscriber goals or anything like that. That's not my goal to necessarily get more subscribers. It's to connect with people and have a good time on this channel. But to do that, I would like to do a few things hopefully in the next year. I would like to, number one, try hosting sprints on this channel. This is something that gives me a little bit of anxiety because I have never done it, but a lot of my friends here on BookTube have done it, and I have talked to people about it and they say it's easy and it's fun, and I just would like to get over that hurdle and maybe not have a consistent schedule, but to try it and give it a shot. It's always fun to learn and grow, and I would like to learn and grow into doing that. So I want to jump on the bandwagon, and I want to get over this, like, I've almost waited too long because now the hurdle seems very high, but I'm just gonna try it. So watch out for that in 2024. I would like to finish my TBR game idea. I have several TBR game ideas like floating around in my brain, but I am a big mood reader, so I have always kind of had trouble saying that I'm definitely going to do a TBR game because I don't want to get pigeonholed into doing something that I think will be fun but then ends up causing me stress or I don't complete or any of those things. So it it wouldn't involve punishments or anything like that, but I have been trying to finish a TBR game idea, and I just want to kind of, maybe by mid-year, have something settled on that I really enjoy or really want to do, because I just have not ever done that, and I think it would be really fun, even if it's something I just play every other month or once a quarter or whatever. But I'd like to solidify that idea and kind of bring it to life. The last one is to post at least one review every month. I really enjoy doing series reviews. I really enjoy doing book reviews as a video, and those are some of the most watched content on my channel that I would really like to start putting those out more often and putting them together. I find them really fun to do. I really enjoy doing those videos, so I want to make it more of a priority. I feel like I get caught up in the regular content that we make, and even my creative ideas. I get caught up in doing all of that, but reviews are something that I just have to put a little bit more time and thought into, but I usually like how they turn out, and I usually like filming them once I have all my ideas together. So that's something I would like to do in 2024. Then I have 3 just like non-book, non-channel goals, 3 like more personal goals that I want to kind of keep myself accountable with, so I'm going to mention them here. The first is to take decompression walks after work. I was doing this really consistently in the spring of 2023, and I really dropped off in the summer and fall. I want to kind of get back to this idea of I would go out after work and just walk around my neighborhood for 15 or 20 minutes instead of scrolling on my phone before I started making dinner. So I want to try to start doing that again, because that was something that really helped my mental health. It was a time for me to either listen to audiobooks or podcasts or just music. Like, it wasn't necessarily something that I was doing to be more like productive in any way, but it was something that was not me coming home and sitting on the couch and scrolling on my phone. And I feel like I need to kind of break that habit, because it's kind of hurting my mental health a little bit to do that. So I am trying to start that habit again. Number 2 is to finish my Eras Tour crochet blanket, which I started in the spring of this year in 2023. So I'd really like to get that done before the end of 2024, maybe before the Eras Tour ends. We'll see, but I would really like to finish that. And number 3 is an idea that the only good thing that came out of Wreck the Halls was a fun idea that I really liked that Melody talked about in the book, and it was to take herself on dates. And that sounded like really fun. So I want to, and this is kind of going hand in hand with another thing that I want to do, in that I want to start exploring my local area more. So take myself on dates might mean just going to a new coffee shop, going to a movie by myself, whatever. Just kind of go out and do something fun for me, like once a month, once, whatever, but kind of just exploring and also doing something fun for myself in a fun way in a new place. But those are my goals for 2024. Like I said, they are bookish, non-bookish, they are channel related and not, but I thought these are all things that would be good to kind of prioritize in the coming year, things I'm excited to do and to tackle and to take on. That was a lot of tease. Anyway, if you have any thoughts or feelings or want to share anything about goals, what are your goals for 2024? Are you making a goals list? Do you have a bookish number of books you want to read in 2024? Let me know down below. If you don't have anything that you want to talk about, like if you don't want to share but you want to leave a comment and let me know you were here, go ahead and leave a calendar emoji, because we are about to flip that calendar into 2024, which is exciting. I am ready to leave 2023 behind. I'm sure you are too, or maybe you aren't. I don't know. I feel like we've all gotten that vibe at the end of the year here where it's just like, let's start over. Let's get a new year going. But that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!